This is Going Nowhere with Drew Mitchell.
You see the
God, you are picky.
featuring.
You want another shoe?
Are those?
Oh my god! What? I'm leaving.
I don't. Oh, man. Why am I doing this again?
Hey, Drew and Nick are going nowhere.
Oh, Drew and Nick are going nowhere.
The girls are
Did
Britney.
you do? Oh, there it is.
So, there you go. That's
I opened your thing in 50 weeks.
Well, that's your loss right there, because my shit is.
I didn't even stare at the camera.
Whoa, Brittany.
And so we begin the second episode back to Drew and Nick Going Nowhere, a podcast with friends.
I like it.
To give some sort of context, we are recording this right before daylight savings time begins because we are not about that life, and we're trying to get everything into before they take an hour away.
I live life in the past.
That doesn't
Not
make
the future?
That doesn't make sense.
No.
Okay.
We'll cut this out.
It is like time travel.
No, it
though.
stays.
Oh,
It's-
okay.
It all stays. We will introduce the room on mic number one. It is me. My name is Drew
Wouldn't that have been
Mitchell.
awkward if I was like, so this is Nick? Yeah, it's Nick.
No. I'm mic number
I'm
one.
sorry, Drew. I'll take
I
it.
run the board. I designate the mic.
You're right.
Mic number two, however, is Nicholas Amoroso.
Boom. Nick, though, I'm not in trouble.
Mic number three, Seth. Introduce yourself, sir.
Hi, I'm Seth. It's nice to meet you guys.
Goddamn adorable right there. Seth Dees, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm Seth Dees. I'm here in Conway, Arkansas. You know, when I was a kid, I was like, I can't wait till I'm older so I can get to Conway, Arkansas.
Nobody
Here I
cares.
am.
Nobody cares about the backstory stuff.
That is the biggest dream as a child.
It
isn't
certainly
it?
is. That's
Yeah.
also the best.
I would
best,
dress up as a Conwayian.
You sure did. Mic number four, fan favorite, I think.
Oh yeah.
Miss Brittany Caldwell.
I'm Brittany Caldwell.
Careful, she'll peek. Careful.
I just keep having to do this because you make me. I can't
Yes.
sleep right now, but
This is an
here I
audio-
am. At
audio
least there's
format.
booze
Yeah,
Okay.
and cheeseburgers. Thank you, Nick.
you're welcome. So I bring it, ladies. Cheeseburgers.
Everything you just said is so hard to explain to an audience.
Yeah, I bet it was a really fun car ride here, though. I bet it was like,
We listened to George Michael on the way over
We
here.
did father figure.
man, you guys are such an angry couple.
Be a preacher, teacher.
We did the whole, she didn't.
So we know that song, but we don't know.
It
Like,
explains your earring every once in a while. Don't you usually have? Don't you
I've
have
got
like?
two.
finally, somebody broached it.
But do you have like the hanging cross one? I feel like I've seen you with
Oh
that.
my gosh, he probably
used to.
does though.
Yeah,
He probably
I do have
does.
them.
Just
I'll bring it back. It's time, my friend.
just in one ear though.
It's just the one
in
ear,
One
though.
ear.
That's
Nothing's
it.
cooler than a 34-year-old bartending with a cross earring.
I do.
You know what?
You have.
Brittany, right?
Yeah.
Oh, oops. Oh,
Nailed it.
roommates for 7 years. Shit got crazy.
It did. Hey, listen, people need to cuddle. But I think the elephant in the room that everyone really wants to talk about more than anything is Nick has Bell's palsy.
Wow.
Let's talk about that.
So we're gonna do a drinking game with this. Every time I can bring it up, you're supposed to take a shot
Every
I
time.
need a new
I
drink.
wanted to get right
of
into
my
it, though.
cold.
Can you have
dead
like
left
instead
hand side
of
my
in
face.
post? Can you when you say Bell's palsy instead of the word bells have a bell sound?
Oh my god!
It's
I can.
palsy.
In fact, I'm not going to edit what we've already done, but let's try it now, and I will edit this in
Okay.
post. So go ahead. Nick has
Because do you want me to make the sound?
no.
you
I
just
want you
say-
to say this.
You just say bells.
Nick has
And when you
Bell's
say-
palsy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we need it clear. Just Seth saying.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I can't name my own disorder I have right now. My bad.
You'll get
Go
your
on,
chance.
Seth.
You'll get your chance, Nick. Seth, the floor.
Nick Amoroso has palsy.
And see, the audience really just enjoyed that.
And that's going to be tough because I went heavy on
That's a long
on
bell.
the L.
Yeah,
It's
it's
going to be a long
ooh.
ding, maybe a doorbell. I'm
That's
thinking.
gonna take. That'll take him a week to find that one.
Oh, I've got tons of bells. I've got bell. You have just one palsy. I've got all sorts.
of actual bells.
Wow. Everybody rip on Nick, huh?
Thanks for inviting me over, Nick.
You're welcome.
This is fun.
Everyone-
you were right. This is fun.
Just feel very wounded right now.
I'm sorry, Nicholas.
Okay, it's just half my face is
It doesn't
paralyzed.
happen often.
No, it doesn't. Actually, I read a whole bunch about it, and it doesn't.
So we all work tonight at a restaurant, Mike's Place.
Yeah.
And I get to work.
Maybe if we do a shout out for them, they'll give us free food.
They
Will you
are-
also put a bell sound when you say Mike's Place? No, just kidding.
So we all work for Bing Place. Mike's Place gives us free food all the time.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. As I look
start
at
on
him
each
with
side of
my
the-
cold, dead left eye.
I'm on Nick's dead side.
You are.
So that's.
But you're like Harvey Dent.
Yeah. Two-Face. My face is melting. I'm literally going to tape my face up. Literally.
That's actually really sad.
Right?
How does it feel for those who may not have experienced Bell's palsy?
Well, the good
it's not
thing,
like cerebral.
No, the good thing is it's a great span of two vastly different things. So you're either when you wake up and you feel like you've just been to the dentist and half your face is drooping, maybe not noticeably, but you know something's wrong with your face, right? Then you go to work and everybody starts naming this thing like it's a Tuesday, and I'm just supposed to know what Bell's palsy is right off the bat.
But in fairness, I think most people do.
Yeah, well, you know,
But you're saying it's either one extreme or the other, right?
yeah. So the two extremes are you either have when you wake up with this nerve damage on your face, you either have, and I don't make light of this, but you either have Bell's palsy or you are having a stroke. What the fuck is that about? So you're literally sitting there going, I could be dying. Where is my Bayer at this time? Or you're going, you know, maybe I should just hydrate some more.
Did you take some Bayer?
No, I fell through on
I'm
that
reading
moment.
right now, and it's like people with upper respiratory. Have you been sick lately?
No, I'm a goddamn superhero.
I was thinking you went to the dentist when you talked to me. I thought it was a dentist
Right?
thing, and then I saw your cry eye,
Yeah. Oh,
and I was like, "Oh no, it's Bell's palsy."
yep.
As I was spraying dishes with water.
But it really was like that. Everyone just looked like, he's got Bell's palsy, all right. Which is how you greeted me today coming into work. I'm
No.
like, oh.
You were just like, hey, Nick, what's up? And I was like, Bell palsy. I have it.
He was like, "Oh, I saw that as you were walking up."
Yeah. He was like, what?
I could tell.
He was like, oh, I thought you were.
It's not AIDS.
Yes.
Take that out. Sorry. Take that out. Sorry.
That was a little left field, but you know what? I kind of agree. I agree with you.
Of the two, I think.
I do agree.
Well, I think I did read the other day that somebody probably came up with a cure for AIDS. So
Yes.
Yeah.
They've
Yeah, that's
cured
a good
two
thing.
people with the same medicine.
The same needle. I'm so sorry.
We're never going to get a sponsor.
this will be on the deep cuts.
No.
No, it's all going to make it. I mean,
Oh, that's great.
I don't have a career anymore. What am I going to
Oh, man.
Yeah, same. I haven't actually got to do stand-up comedy. I was up in Fayetteville, up at Black Apple Crossing in Springdale. It's a fantastic venue. If you're ever up there, it's dope. If you like solely drinking apple cider to get drunk. I personally don't.
Well,
I personally would prefer apple cider as a chaser, maybe.
Nice. I like your style.
But they are great. They've got like 12 different apple ciders, but I just riffed the audience for like 45 minutes for
so is that
drinking
like
apple
crowd,
juice.
crowd work.
Yeah, it was a
basically?
lot of crowd work. I was like, I mean, it's, you know, you're drinking apple juice. You are children. You are getting drunk. You are children getting drunk.
Right.
If you go and you fart in your car with an apple cider fart, like you are not going to be able to resell that car. So,
It is descriptive.
yeah. I feel like that should be common, though. That should be like common law. Like,
and
you
like
should
anytime I
not
didn't
do
laugh
that.
at a joke, I'd be like, I forgot you guys are like 12 years old.
just roast the audience.
You guys are.
How long ago was that?
It was like a month ago.
I was gonna say, it seemed like it
It wasn't that long
that
ago.
far.
It was pretty good. But again, we got no bookings out coming up, you know, that could be a nerve wracking thing. But at the same time,
So what's the Arkansas comedy scene like?
Yeah.
it's actually really good. It's very stretched out. I'd say Little Rock has the Looney Bin. I like the Looney Bin.
They're good people.
They're good people.
So for Gary Owens, who I saw there one time,
Yeah, you know, some of the comics they get.
shout out to that comedian
feel
being a
like-
dick.
the last time I was at the Looney Bin,
Long story, Drew. I'll just
I feel like we.
He's not sponsoring this podcast.
good.
It's fine.
Good. I didn't like any of his movies.
we'll at him. With a little, we'll hit him up.
Yeah.
He'll be in the hashtags.
Hope he responds.
Gosh, I'd hate to anger a comedian.
One of the topics we talked about was Gary Owens and how he was very rude one day. But no, I like them. But the last time I was at the Looney Bin, the headliner made a joke about Blue's Clues. And this was maybe a year ago. And Blue's Clues, I don't know if you guys know, hasn't been on the air in quite a while.
No idea.
It's
They
been.
replace
It's
Steve with like Adam or somebody.
Yeah, I think they're going to reboot
the
it.
show.
They're going to reboot Blue's Clues. And
well, sure. There's money.
yeah, do it. I'm all about it. But this is like, he was saying it like it was on the air at the time. And that's when I know that you haven't updated your jokes. Even to change it to like a new cartoon. Like, I don't know,
Teen Titans.
Teen
Go.
Titans Go. Thank you. Very good. You're up on the times. You need,
I have a 12-year-old son.
Hey,
I also
Drew, should we
really
just
like
step
that
out?
show.
Yeah, that's a
Since we
great
have
show.
what's
It's
going
hilarious.
on?
Saw it in the movie theater.
I like that the soundtrack to that one. But anyway, the Arkansas comedy scene, Fayetteville is where it's at. The Northwest Arkansas scene, they've got a lot of stuff going on. Little Rock,
See, I'm with you on that, and I that's kind of Seth is actually I like you. I've never seen your sets, but Brittany has, even well before we started dating. And one of the first times before I even met you was a Facebook battle, which I thought you held your own, and we won't mention names.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
No, we won't mention names,
we
but-
won't mention names because the people you were debating, I equally dislike.
Oh, great. Well, what was the debate about? Is that going to pretty much out everyone that
I will
was
tread
debating?
lightly. I will tread lightly on that.
I got in a lot of Facebook debates throughout the
it will
years.
open a whole can of worms if I do, because
Yeah, really.
no, I'm not. I mean, I'm not scared.
Oh, it sounds like Drew is scared.
I don't want anyone to think. Here's the thing is,
let's not open the
I
can.
doubt they're listening.
Oh no, probably not. I mean, you know.
Wait a second.
Well, I don't. I'm sorry. You think they're looking up our podcast? We gotta know what.
We're like internationally known.
You know what? I bet maybe they're like,
We had someone in Texas listen to a podcast.
The whole
boom.
thing.
hell
the
yeah.
Whole thing.
Is it them?
In Texas.
No, they're
The debated people
no.
in Texas.
at least
No,
one or
they
two
went
of them are in
north. Yeah.
Oklahoma.
Oh,
Okay.
there you go.
So this guy, let me just.
Hey.
All right, without saying any names, he looks like Megamind. like
Brittany's
you're
not
gonna get it.
near loud enough on this one.
No.
He looks like Megamind.
Oh, there we go. That's the base I love.
And how long ago was this?
Maybe like a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Do I know who this is?
Dude, okay, I know who it is.
It
I
was-
think I
it
remember
was,
this. And it was about Little Rock comedy specifically, something that was going on.
Sure.
Can I just go ahead and say it? There was a known pedophile doing
Yes.
stand-up comedy in Little Rock.
Megamind.
And
Told you that dude looks like Megamind.
a lot of these venues were still booking this guy, and I'm a father, I have a son, and I don't, it's not, his past is really none of my business. It's really none of my business. But when you get on stage and you have an opinion and you grab that microphone, you have an obligation to everybody to yes, stand-up comedy is maybe the last bastion of free speech. You can say whatever you want, but damn it, if you
free
say
speech-
whatever you want and you say the wrong thing, you can ruin it for everybody.
Sure.
And they're letting these people that have this dicey background do this. And I made a stand, and me and another comedian, and I don't think he'd mind if I say his name, Chris Pierce, he's got a podcast, Death Metal Dicks. It's a true crime podcast. Listen
name.
to that.
Oh, wow,
Listen to
really?
that shit. It's hilarious. But
We endorse it.
he took a stand. He was the first one, really, and I kind of like jumped in with him. I was like, you know what, he's right, and I don't agree either. And we were ostracized, and we were like pushed out of the scene, and it sucked. They said we were jealous, and they said you weren't funny to begin with, and it got in my head because I stopped getting booked, and I took my album off iTunes, I took my album off Spotify, and I was like, maybe I'm not funny, and maybe I am jealous. But you know what, that guy wound up quitting comedy, and word got around the nation, and he couldn't get booked anywhere. And
Well, and the people you were arguing with are, well, first of all, you're absolutely correct. I mean, everything you said was absolutely correct.
I'd like to think I was, but
And you're right. Comedy, there shouldn't be. you shouldn't have to edit yourself or be edited, but there are behaviors that, regardless of what walk of life you're in, are inappropriate. And certainly pedophilia is in that category.
Absolutely.
Can we not agree on that in 2019?
It's one of those things that
I think we should.
there's very few things that are.
what year it is.
I think we should take a time out and get a drink break and all agree that is.
I agree.
Well, I think so. I just
There's a few things that are unforgivable in
Nick went
2019.
off this topic so
No, I agree
We
with-
shouldn't
I
hold
agree with
people's
that.
past against them. It's just something that we shouldn't do. Like if you want to give somebody a job, there's certain things that you shouldn't look too deep into. Give the person a job they're trying. But at the same time, if they used to jerk off to kids,
Yeah.
am I allowed to say that on
Yeah,
this?
no.
oh, we're not.
We were
Oh, this is
reading
this
the
a
whole
family
and I was
thing?
like,
This isn't a
listen.
family podcast.
I don't
right?
think families listen to us.
Okay, good. So if you, the thing is,
I'm just going to keep quiet because I know my family.
he had
doesn't.
never done it. He got caught
but
hard
what-
copy style trying to.
Okay, but
And
like
then they went to his dorm room and found his laptop, and that's game over to me, man. You were purchasing it, you were holding it, you had it, you looked at it. The people on those files are victims.
Yeah.
and you didn't do
and you
anything about it.
participated
Yeah,
in the
you participated.
victimization. Yes, absolutely. And we're not naming names. We're
I just think that the fact that him and his friend thought that something was wrong and it is wrong, they had enough to sit up and say, look, I mean, it's fucked up. And then so, no, this isn't cool that this stuff is happening. So these days, like I was telling Seth earlier, is like to find that type of person that could sit there and just say like, look, this is fucked up. But like, instead of just letting that guy continue to do it and just going behind his back and always just saying off
always
in the
being mad
background
about it.
and being in the background going like this is fucked up, then that sounds like what those people were trying to accuse him of. Where I feel like when you're sitting there and you're just like, no, like this is how I feel right now. This is why I feel this way, and it's not because it's some jaded reason off on the side that I have. No, the fact that this guy was doing this is wrong. And
Yeah.
why are you guys giving him a platform to even put himself out there to even gain any kind of notoriety? Like that dude needs to get his ass kicked.
Yeah.
So
well, he definitely doesn't need to be in the public eye. I mean, in what was funny to me, and I know at this point I've spent too much time on this, but Brittany and I have followed that because it's related to someone I used to work with and their significant other, which hilarious is a terrible word to use, but I thought it was really odd that he would be so vocal about something like that, because one of the reasons I left Little Rock had something to do with sexual harassment. So much so that I got a phone call making sure I wasn't going to sue.
Wow.
And it was in... and again, people have families and careers, and I'm not going to the billions of people who are listening to this. It was so funny to see people I knew that I have seen them victimize or been a part of victimization in that to take stands in this matter, knowing their backgrounds. And that's as much as I'll say. But
my thing was, if you're such a big talk, let him watch your kids. How about that? Let him. Why don't you leave him? Why don't you leave your daughter alone with him?
Seth, in that Facebook
son of a
argument,
bitch.
didn't even actually do anything. It was the person in question that we're talking about right now.
The retaliation was...
He just started posting, and then Seth came in and go, "I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of pedophilia. It's just me."
Well, I said it's important for you. You're saying that this guy's being bullied and that he's quitting comedy because of the bullying, but you're not saying why. What was he being? What was the reason?
One to talk. They are the Little Rock comedy scene is the most bullying.
It's so
culture
competitive.
I've ever seen.
Why?
And these fuck it.
No, wait a second.
These motherfuckers.
Wait a second. Not all of them.
Not all of them.
Not all
of
of
them.
them. And that's
There
what
are some
sucks is
really
that the
good
ones that are
people
great,
in the Little Rock
they are.
comedy scene. Everyone.
They're the ones that get pushed down. They're the ones that get
just
pushed
stood
into the sea. Yeah, Drew is on his feet. Let me just go ahead and set the scene. Drew has postured.
dude, he's tall.
He
And I'm
actually
super tall.
unzipped his windbreaker. And there's somehow like his hair is more feathered.
I thought we were
it's
taking
more.
a drink.
And there's
I thought
a
we were
gust
taking a
of
drink
wind
break.
in
We're going to take a break,
I'm just saying, I might
and we're
drink this
coming
really
back
long.
with lighthearted, good, fun stuff. But Seth is absolutely right.
No, I'm not trying, and I'm not trying to deviate from that. either.
Those motherfuckers. and like,
We'll be right back.
and I was in Little Rock Radio, and Little Rock Radio is similar, but everyone's like, "Oh man, we're the coolest people ever." And like this, it's a who's who of who gives a shit.
What a great way to put it.
And that is all that is. And not to take away from anyone, I have a lot of respect for a lot of people who are doing that. That's a hard game, whether it's radio or comedy. But the people who are so up on their high horse, like there's some Beethoven of something. You're in Central Arkansas and you work at Chili's. Stop it.
Yeah, why are you doing this?
Stop it.
Why is your head so big? There was a few times where I would get upset. I'd get home and I'd be like, I don't know why I haven't done this. I don't know why this didn't work out for me. And then I look and I remember I'm in Arkansas. I gotta take a seat. I'm not Bill Hicks. Little Rock is where Bill Hicks came to die. Let's remember that.
Is Bill Hicks dead?
Bill Hicks is very
I
dead.
know who Bill Hicks is.
Bill Hicks is dead? How did it?
No idea who that is.
You know Bill Hicks? You're thinking maybe Bill Hader?
No. I know
Maybe
who
I
Bill.
am.
I know who Bill Hicks
The
is, right? But I'm not familiar with his comedy.
I'm pretty sure I'm saying the right guy.
No, you are.
Bill Hicks, he was like a very
Yeah, he wore a cowboy hat.
philosophical comedian, very,
Bill Hicks.
very
I don't
important
know.
to people.
God, people are like screaming at their podcast right
A
now.
lot of people think that
Okay. I
he
thinking
was
of
like a
different
big.
guy.
He was like if there was a the Mount Rushmore of comedy, Bill Hicks would certainly be on it. I didn't personally think he was very funny. He just had a lot of really great bits about life. Like life is a ride, and it's like a roller coaster ride, and you choose to get on the ride. And there's people that have been on this ride a long time, and when you get scared, you can ask them, I don't know what we're doing, and they say, oh, don't worry, it's just a ride.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Hicks is a great guy, but he came to Little Rock to die. He died in the hotel in Little Rock. So when people just get so
Little
excited,
FYI right
about
there
it,
for you, people. Little
his
Rock
parents
action.
actually still live in Little Rock, and you might see them at the Looney Bin here and there every once in a while.
Well, we're not going to be able to go on Thursdays anymore. That's for sure.
No, what happened on Thursdays?
I just think that's when most of the people that we have pseudo called out might be performing.
Oh yeah, maybe. Well, I think. Do they do open mic on Thursdays now? Because those people ain't getting booked.
Okay, we burned some bridges. I'm going to produce a quick little interlude while we all make an adult beverage. Again, mic number 2 is Nicholas Amoroso.
That's me.
Mic number 3 is Seth. Seth, do you have any social media stuff or anything we want to
I'm just Seth Dees on Facebook, at Seth Dees on Instagram, no spaces. That's the best way to.
You're the only Seth Dees on Instagram?
Yeah, I grabbed that up.
Got
I
that.
snatched it up. It used to be Look at Dees, and I should go back to that. But
I kind of like that though. Anyways, Seth does great comedy, so people should check him out.
I haven't done as much comedy, but there's lots of pictures of my kid, so that's cool.
There you go.
Don't
He's-
jerk off to it though.
Also, too. Also, too.
Mic number 4, though, because we're about to do a drink break.
I'm Brittany Caldwell, yes.
Hi. Hey, and real quick, when we come back from our drink break, since we got Seth here and he has a kid, we're going to talk about some D&D. So we talked about that last time.
Dungeons
Oh,
and Dragons.
Something that Drew and
My
I...
last name is Dees, so
Something-
D&D. There's 2 D's. Here you are. Put it on a license plate.
So Drew and I have nothing, like we don't even care about that shit.
So we
it's
probably
been
won't
really
be.
great to see Brittany try to change us.
He was telling me something that
Yeah.
he we'll find out later, but he does online, and I was trying to translate it to Drew. He's like,
That's ominous.
This isn't going to be good.
Do online.
do you
Okay,
do
let's,
online?
let's pause it. and
Not
come back
again.
to that,
Okay,
all right?
so the second half of this podcast will pretty much be me and Nick just in the back row going, oh, that's
Yeah, it's not gonna. It won't be as hard. It won't be as hard and heavy.
Okay, all right. I'm going to produce something that's going to take us from breaks to breaks, and it'll probably be like a fake commercial or
Just
something.
go, hey, Nick.
We're back after these messages on Drew and Nick are...
Going nowhere.
Well, we did it. We have more than doubled our content so far in 2019.
hell yeah.
What a great year it has been already for Drew and Nick, Going Nowhere, a podcast with friends. But as we all know, it's that time of year we need to look forward to the Drew and Nick Christmas Spectacular Special.
Oh my God.
Thank you. This year's Jubilee is only 8.5 months away, and it's time to get your tickets now. We're excited this year to be featuring the Drew and Nick Dancers.
Whoa, this is amazing. I can't believe it's happening.
Oh, that's not all, Brittany. We also have Santa Claus.
as well as Charles Grodin.
The real Santa Claus?
He's not real. Featuring a special performance from Danzig and our Grand Marshal of this year's Christmas Spectacular, Tony Danza.
God, is he still alive?
He sure probably is, Brittany. It's the Drew and Nick Christmas Spectacular coming out this December. Buy your tickets now.
Jingle all the way.
None of the celebrities mentioned on this promo will actually be appearing on the Drew and Nick podcast. Legally, we have to say this, or we could be sued by Tony Danza, although Tony Danza is more than welcome to appear anytime he wants to. The Drew and Nick Christmas special may or may not happen. We don't know. It's a long ways off.
We're going nowhere. We're going nowhere. Nowhere.
Clearly.
Guys, when we make it there, we could talk about it, all right?
we get that high on the hill one day.
Brittany, when we get Fort Smith, okay?
Well, we just wouldn't want to get in a Facebook war with anybody.
I'll fuck them up.
Yeah, depends. I don't know.
Okay, but hey,
Next week's episode, pick a fight on Facebook.
I can. Oh.
And you have to lose.
Oh,
I have a really hard time with Facebook. I've actually deleted the app and I only look at it on the browser.
Do you guys even get on it now? Do you get on it?
Oh, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, buddy. I do. I get on Facebook a lot. It is a giant waste of time. I find myself just so angry. I find my like when the back of the head, your muscles get all like tense because you're making these faces with your eyebrows.
So animated faces. Nobody could see this.
No, this is great for your listeners. All the faces I'm making.
This is for the video podcast. That's not up online.
I get that feeling when I'm looking at my phone reading Facebook, and I get that like tense and like the muscles in the back of my head tensing up, and I start to feel the headache building, and I'm like, I gotta fucking shut this off.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I'm getting mad about everything.
I don't get on Facebook
before
anymore.
we move on, because what I just produced that broke up all of our stuff, we have to pretend like we all listened to it and thought it was really funny because I put something together.
Oh yeah, dude, that was actually really good. What I just heard, that was good.
But I got to set it up. So here we go.
I thought that was a good. That was a good laugh. That was a good compliment.
No, all this is gonna stay.
Drew, you're really failing at this producing.
Yeah,
shit,
I know I'm terrible at it, but I'm like, and we're back, guys.
That was good.
Yeah. Hey, Drew.
You made that?
Hey, Drew.
Yeah, sure did.
Drew, fuck you. That was funny.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you.
For real, I'm mad because I didn't think of that.
Fuck you so hard. That was funny.
I wake up in the morning and y'all know when you yawn and you have the yawn tears. Mine is comedy.
Yeah. Mine is belt.
Could be a curse.
Yeah. Mine is,
could be a curse.
What's Nick gonna say?
Mine is awesomeness.
Oh, okay.
On the right side of my face.
Just on one side.
Just hit me on the right.
And we are officially back, although we have been back for a few minutes because I'm not cutting any of that out. So
True. We never left.
we never left. We're always with you in your hearts
In your minds.
Sorry.
and your minds.
Sorry.
So we have 30 more minutes to kill. What do we want to talk about? Dungeons and Dragons, right?
Yeah.
No, Seth.
So you're like the producer. You're basically the dungeon master of this podcast.
Drew's the DM, and his initials are DM.
Oh shit,
You're
dog!
a natural born leader. He rolled a natural 20.
When he was born,
Hey,
Yeah.
Drew.
born a white male Catholic, straight. He
All this-
kind of did, brother.
I sure did. I really.
Well, up until about a few years ago, white
privilege.
males are not getting the good stuff lately.
He's not that
no.
kind of Catholic.
It's a lot of.
What other?
Drew, your luck was so
He's Catholic.
Oh my
He talks
God.
about it every time we talk. You mentioned that you're Catholic at least every time we talk.
Every
Well, I
other
am
time, at
Catholic.
least.
Well, because
Really?
people start. Well, I don't mean to be overbearing with mentioning
That's how you
it.
start out
It's not
conversations.
overbearing, but it's like, how do you know someone's a vegan? Oh, don't worry, they'll tell you.
Hey guys, just so you, because here's the deal with being Catholic is people
good,
talk
right?
about how, in my mind, it's people talk about how they don't like Christians or Christianity, and I'm like, whoa, but I'm one of the cool ones.
Right, yeah.
Wait. Are we talking about Dungeons and Dragons right now? We're going to start talking about Christianity,
We probably shouldn't
Wow,
talk
we
about
should not go
Christianity.
into that.
right?
I don't want to be fenced in. I want to talk about whatever.
Let's stay on topic.
I think it's funny
We don't
too.
have a topic,
I think it would
Nicholas.
be funny. I think it would be funny too if we
D&D is
never talk
topic,
about
Drew.
Dungeons and Dragons the whole podcast. No, wait. We're here to talk about Dungeons and Dragons.
You know what's kind of funny though?
But wait, no.
What's kind of funny is that's what we were talking about, that we were going to talk about this podcast with Dungeons and Dragons. But what's funny about it is What are we going to talk about?
Oh no, there's
it's
so
half
much.
done.
Okay.
We've had,
No, what are we going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons? I don't care to know
let's
We're
set
gonna
it
fill
up.
you in. We're gonna fill you in.
I
So
don't care
first
to
off,
know
Let
anything.
me set it up.
Okay.
Ooh.
Let me set it up
The
because
dungeon
I got a little thing
master,
to say, too.
the dungeon master
Yes,
wants to
the
set it
DM.
up.
we have to listen to him.
Weave us.
Roll a perception check.
Tell us where we are.
Whoa,
Where
I
the-
like that. I'm going to say that at work when I work with some people.
so.
Dungeons and Dragons is like dice for white people. Or whatever.
Oh, okay. That,
know, whatever they
that's
do in the
racist. But
Jesus.
I don't see color, Brittany. But we.
very white.
I'm super white. I can't afford to see color because
Drew walked out of a 90s movie. He literally is
straight
like,
out of Dawson's Creek
I'm
into your
telling you,
life.
with the cross earring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Brittany has recently gotten into playing Dungeons and Dragons. Seth has been into it for some time.
I started like in April, March-ish of last year. So about a year now.
Okay.
About a year.
I thought
so
it was longer.
I'm still pretty new.
Pretty
into
green.
it. I think it's
You're
good
greeny.
because I think previous editions wouldn't have kept my attention
Well, I
as
think you're
much
full
as
of
the
shit.
fifth edition.
I think you're full of shit. I think the second edition was phenomenal.
You're
And-
probably right. You're probably
and it
right.
takes my
I should
fucking
probably be
breath
pissed
away.
off at my brother for not getting me
Yeah.
into it earlier.
I'm just kidding. I don't know about any of that stuff.
No, I don't either. I really don't know what the
all.
second edition was.
No. I bet it was really, really lame, though. I bet it was.
but it wouldn't it be great to just talk about, like you noticed, like, oh, in the second edition was so cool. That one thing with that, and you could make up any mythological creature and everyone would go, oh, okay.
How's that go, Drew?
Oh, okay.
I like that. Let's repeat that a couple
That's
times.
his O face. Cut that out. God.
No, that stays.
That's his vinegar strokes.
Censor me.
Vinegar.
Just unplug my microphone.
That was stupid, too.
It's okay.
I love
We will be getting into Dungeons and Dragons. Seth, what is the appeal to you?
Oh no. Okay, so here's what I like about Dungeons and Dragons.
I'm super interested.
This particular world is pretty lame. There's a lot of really silly stuff going on, and I get on Facebook and I get
talking
mad.
about Earth or
yeah, Earth.
Dungeons
Yeah,
and
just
Dragons? Okay,
reality.
yes.
This particular reality
Earth in
sucks.
general.
And you, I wanted to create a story for my kid, and I wrote this. I built this world called Owletia, named after my cat, Owlette, and it was like Dungeons and Dragons meets Jurassic Park. I made a race of elves that went off and built an island using like Tesla-like vibration technology, and they found some dinosaurs, did tests on them, created like a whole race, and then I made my kid. We went there. My kid made it, and we used dice to narratively tell a story, and it was fun. But oh man, how boring and weird that is to even think
I
about.
know, but
Okay.
the reason I laughed out loud a second ago was I was waiting. I just imagined that there was somebody listening to this right now going, no fucking way. No fucking, oh, get the fuck out of here.
Real excited. The one
Oh
person.
my god, dude, he did what an innovator. Like somebody is out there, because you know there's always somebody that's into what the fuck you're about, right?
They're only listening to this because of D&D.
Yeah,
and
so-
we finally started talking about it. And they were like,
Dude, no, you laugh, but I'm telling you, there is somebody that's going to listen to this one day going, oh, what a great fucking idea that is.
would write it down.
Oh my God.
I am thinking about publishing it.
So
There's
you think negative, I go total positive.
I'm
these
not
days.
thinking, dude, you're
I'm
looking at, what
2019,
did I
I'm
say
a
that was
positive
negative?
2019.
I like it.
Right? Thank you, Seth.
Well, Brittany, what got you into D&D?
Okay, well, actually, let me go back. So, just so people that don't know about D&D know what's going on a little bit, I feel like that we got to give them a little background.
I feel, I
right,
feel like she's
because-
talking to us, Drew.
I've only been in D&D for 3 weeks now.
Getting it.
I mean, I've known
killing
that
it,
it
by the way.
existed,
Killing it, I'm hearing.
but didn't know
fought
like.
a bear.
Oh no, I fought a bear and I got a critical hit, and then oh shit, what's the word? Anyway, I'll come back to that later. But
You killed it.
so D&D. So you're talking
What's
about
the word? Murder?
straight up.
I murdered a bear.
D&D is a dice game. Okay, you create it,
But
really
not for
is.
just white people. Let's be specific.
We do not see color on this podcast.
Oh my god! Wow, I listen to a lot of hip hop. Anyway, but it's
You guys are horrible people.
I agree, Nick.
D&D is a game. You roll dice to kind of figure out what you're going to do, right?
But it doesn't have to be black people, y'all.
Yeah, roll to see if you can say the N word.
Let me do instead of investigation, perception.
Yeah, it'd be an insight check.
Insight check.
If you
If I roll a
are
one,
smart enough to say the N word or not. It's a 20. You do not say the N word. You figured out that would be a bad decision.
That's how it works. You roll the dice to figure out what you can see or say or
Right.
not do or do. And your DM, your dungeon master, makes up this entire world, and you basically role play through the whole thing. Now you have to set your character up. You have like a character
Right,
sheet.
right.
You get to pick your race.
Very important.
Your
Let's
Your
bring-
of course, you go straight to race. I see. I see that. You get to pick your. Go white. No. Yeah, but there's like elves and dwarves is what Brittany is talking about. Elves, dwarves.
At this
my
point,
God.
Seth, I'm so confused with
gonna
her
get
and
fired
what's
on
going on
Monday.
with her.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
so
good.
confused.
At least anyone that has never heard of Dungeons and Dragons, in Conway especially, I still identify as weirdly. Here in Central Arkansas, you're really barking up the right tree, I think.
There you go.
I don't know how
now I'm
y'all
totally
did
hooked.
that. I don't know how you made it.
But no, you pick a race, and each race, like you pick an elf. You pick an elf.
It's like an elf or a
And you get, like,
half-orc or a halfling or a human.
Benefits.
You get benefits. Yeah,
right.
you get like, it's like when you're playing Skyrim or, like any game, you get to pick like all your stuff, right?
Right.
You just do it on paper.
So what privileges do the humans get?
They get, I think, extra proficiencies. Because
Yeah.
they get like extra. Like,
Privileges.
yeah, they get white privilege.
Oh my God.
Some of them get extra muscles in their legs.
No.
If they're pulled over by police officers, they're assumed to be
No.
innocent.
I'm
We
just
are
saying, you
not doing
guys are
this.
pushing that there.
That's got to be just cut out completely. Like,
I don't think
it's
so. I like-
way
I
too
like
sensitive
this.
of a time.
I know. I'm sorry, but you
it's
guys were
hilarious.
just throwing it in there. I just had to grab it.
You know what?
good.
If this podcast is successful enough, they're like, I can't believe what Drew and Nick are going nowhere said. Like,
I'd
would-
tell you what.
Oh, that'd be good press.
You know what I want to see? I want to see the indoor camera of when you're editing this, and I just want to see what your and Brittany's reactions are when you're like, I'm going to post that, and you're just.
Oh, I'm not allowed to edit around Brittany
No.
anymore. Because it's the same 3 seconds.
But she's like
for about
chopping.
45
I'm going to
minutes.
see her chopping something and being like,
Take that out. Take that out.
I can
take
hear
that out.
that.
Take
I
that
just
out. Take
don't-
that out. And take that out.
yeah, see that face?
Take that out. I only want to say I was on the pot. Like, let me introduce myself, and then you guys take everything out, and then at the end of the podcast, let me say thank you. This is where you can find me on
Hey.
social media.
Yep.
That's exactly how it goes.
That's how
Let's do
actually, if
that.
you could do that, that's in my writer. I don't know if you got that. I did send it to your email, but pretty
I
much
got the
everything
green
that I
my
M&Ms
contract.
and
that I
the
wrote.
blow up doll.
and the
which was-
Chick-fil-A. Thank you.
yeah, the chicken minis. I mean,
Waffle fries sound
I heard blow up
fantastic
doll
right
and
now.
Chick-fil-A. That sounds like a good Monday.
Brittany,
I
I still
do-
got cheeseburgers.
You guys.
Oh, we do. We have cheeseburgers.
I do want to get back to D&D because you
Okay,
were
yeah, yeah,
going
yeah.
somewhere.
So I
I
was
really
like-
derailed you, and I
just trying
feel
to
bad.
Set it up like for people like me 3 weeks ago that didn't know what D&D, like I've heard of
Right.
it and I've had friends that played it, but I didn't realize that your DM actually makes up this whole story.
Mm-hmm.
So, which Jason is our DM and he's written this entire story.
Typical.
What does DM
And-
stand for?
Dungeon Master.
Oh, can you say that? Can you
Say it slower.
Yeah, and like look me in the face when you say it?
me?
No, sorry, Britt. Drew,
Dungeon
your hair
Master.
Well,
gets me.
I
Pretty,
do
that
have
was
some
pretty.
big
That was
hair.
it. That was the 10 that you rocked me with.
Dungeon Master. Yeah, it's really weird. I don't like it. I just
Master.
Like get bassy with it though. Like something like
I was
this.
like into my own.
Only Nick will be able to appreciate this because he's wearing headphones. But Dungeon Master.
No, not good enough.
No, okay, all right. I'll be over here fucking myself. If you don't
Okay,
get me.
anyway, so yeah.
Lame.
they can make up their own world.
Okay.
Or they can use pre-made modules that are like bought. Of course,
So you can
Jason
do, like-
does not do that.
No, he doesn't.
He's like,
he,
fuck those modules.
yeah, he like makes up his own worlds. And
But
his-
again,
but
they-
he gets the monster. Okay, so your DM makes up the whole story. And it can go
Hey,
for
real
like
quick.
weeks and weeks. It's not like
Whole
30-minute story.
Have you ever just heard a story and just been like, this is bullshit?
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. Go on. Not interrupting.
I
your flow.
actually was running a module on Sundays with a group of people that work at Mike's place and a few other people, my wife and my son. He was playing too. There was like 6 people playing, and we were running. It was called the Waterdeep Dragon Heist. You're in a big city called Waterdeep. It's like D&D New York City.
That's kind of cool.
But it wound up being like a really long episode of Law and Order SVU meets D&D, which sounds pretty fucking cool when I say that out loud. But it really got boring. And the characters say that they said they felt like NPCs, which means non-player characters.
Yeah.
These are like characters that are just like in a video game that you meet, like the shopkeeper. You're like, hey, hello, mate. What are you buying? What are you selling? Yeah,
They really
greetings,
do.
weary
The DMs
traveler.
do the accents too. Like Jason
Sometimes
does
they
that.
do.
Like
And that could be good.
just-
That can also be just our way of expressing our autism. You know what I mean? It could just be.
Or everyone has Asperger's.
Yeah, we're all just really deep in
Future worlds.
it's good, but I like it. It's it has brought my son and my Kara, my wife, my fiance. It's brought us together, and we've like done crazy. Like we have snuck past a black dragon, stole its shit, and then narrowly escaped a volcano that was erupting as this dragon shot acid at all 3 of us, and we were able to dodge it, get out of this dungeon, and make out with the treasure.
Boom.
All
That's how
because
I
the
left Little
dog.
Rock Radio. It was the same story.
You had a dragon spewing at you.
Two things again.
I sure did.
One,
I sure did. Seth.
I was gonna say 2 things again. One, hashtag relationship goals on that one.
Sure.
And 2, again, there's somebody that's listening to this right now going, holy fucking shit. No fucking, are you serious?
Or they're like, no, there's no way. Like the rules of D&D like don't allow you to do that.
I like that too.
It can't spook.
Unless she's like a druid of the mushroom, then no, then you don't have a symbiotic entity that you can turn into once
I'm
per
gonna be
day.
like, I'm gonna clock out and kick your ass. That's what I'm gonna do.
I will tell you. I'll tell you right now. Everyone who pays attention to Dungeons and Dragons hates both you, Nick, and myself, Drew,
cool.
a
Oh, right
lot.
now, yeah.
I got
like
yeah.
you guys.
True. True. Out of both of us, who has to worry about that?
I do.
Yeah, because he's small.
Yeah.
sorry.
For Law and Order.
That was perfect.
Yeah, I knew Bartholus. He was just a regular dwarf. He would come into my shop every once in a while and buy some long swords. But
Yo,
here you go.
say Law and Order again.
Law and Order. Shit. Water deep. 10:57 a.m. It's Marpanoth.
So fucking
Marpanoth
serious.
the 19th.
I'm so into it.
That's like October.
Yeah. So fucking October. Fucking love it.
Hey, what?
2 Kenku are moving a bag of grain from
Fucking grain.
one wagon to another.
2 wagons.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was into it. I was like,
So,
Hey, real quick, Drew, just a big
Yes.
shout out to International Women's Day that was yesterday.
yeah. So
Yeah.
go women. Y'all do some cool
did it.
stuff.
thanks so much.
You did it.
And now,
Fucking give it up for women. Y'all fucking did it.
You did it.
oh man,
I
and we
mean,
lost.
come on, guys.
And we lost the rest of our guys. There we go. There we go.
I was. My
want to make
question-
sure everyone's included.
Include everyone, because no women are into D&D. This is a really rare paradox.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're in a game, Brittany, with is it 3 other?
Four.
Four.
Our whole team.
A total of
women,
4.
Besides our DM.
I mean, the
DM.
Drunken Master, Dragon or Dragon.
Drunken Master.
Dungeon
The Jackie Chan movie. The DVD of Jackie Chan, Legend of the Drunken Master that
First
runs
off,
the game.
Blu-ray all the way. Get out of here.
I don't know if they made that on Blu-ray.
They do. I own it.
Okay, cool. Of course you do.
So what?
You're right.
yeah.
Of course I do.
I have to ask you,
Seth and Brittany. Before.
is
Okay.
go ahead.
No.
No, go ahead.
No, it's
good
women's
podcasting.
Couple fight.
Oh yeah.
Couple
Oh,
fight. I'm just kidding. You guys
I'm
are
gonna beat his
adorable.
ass later.
Oh, let me watch.
I'll pretend
With
like
my
I don't like it.
cheeseburger. Yeah.
Drew is. You know what's kind of funny about Drew is literally the kind of guy you could just really go from behind and pull his hair. You know what I mean? Like
I
he's
can't
that-
Reach that. He's very tall. Listen, we don't pull hair in the Shire. All right, we're kind to people.
All right, Bilbo. I'm sorry, but that was a Lord of the Rings joke. That
nobody got that.
It didn't
Oh,
work.
Bilbo Baggins?
Yeah, I said it. They said the Shire.
Drew, are you
I was
singing
going to
a
say because I
solo?
couldn't reach his hair.
What are you doing over there?
I'm about to sing the national anthem, apparently. I was going to ask both of you, Seth and Brittany, what the most trying experience in D&D might have been for you. What is your greatest conquest, if you will?
Wow.
Okay.
That's a good question.
I have
some hard-hitting
one
shit right
because
there.
I've only been doing it 3 weeks,
2020.
and I'm
That's a
going to
good
need you
job.
to help me
Good
out
job.
with like the language because I forgot. But we were fighting this bear, right? So we were fighting all these wolves, and they're blink dogs. Have you ever heard of blink dogs?
I have.
Okay, so we're fighting blink dogs that have been mutated into wolves, right?
How many of them were there?
6. So a lot of us climbed up trees. But anyway, Emma of Viola, she was like down there fighting, and
And what's her class?
She's
she
in
is
the
a half
one.
orc.
No, I think she's in the 1-2 class.
She's in Algebra 3.
No, the 1-2 class. Don't worry about it. There's a story, but go on with yours.
All right.
I'm sure she's laughing.
Oh, she is dying right now that I just called her out on that shit. That's how I do it, folks.
The biggest conquest I have in D&D is I'm the DM. I'm dungeon master most of the time.
Well, no, actually, Drew is Dungeon Master. He's DM.
You're right. Sorry.
Of the podcast.
Whenever Drew's not in the room, or if I'm not in his presence,
I can't fathom that. I can't fathom being out of Drew Mitchell's presence.
Yeah, you're right. I guess it's an omnipresence. So I'm like demi dungeon master. I'm vice dungeon master.
Are we doing math now? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I can't follow this anymore.
When I'm vice dungeon mastering, sometimes I vice dungeon master for players that have been playing since first edition, which I guess is like 20 years.
It was
or
like
more.
in the 1970s.
That's a long time or more.
Yeah.
They've been playing like
It was
for
like
a long time.
Skyrim, and it's using
No,
your
I do
imagination.
this. But
It's-
actually, here's the thing is that when you say, I do this, the dice is like, okay, well, roll to see if you fucking do that, you piece of shit. Bam, natural 20. Yeah, you
Dice
do
is
that.
angry all the time.
You do that.
Yeah.
Or you just
do
get
that.
shitty
You're like,
dice.
yeah, I fucking do that. Or you're like, no, this is all bad.
Sure,
You
just
wouldn't know it unless you
Drew
knew
is
it.
falling asleep standing up.
I value it so much. But we have 8 minutes.
Seth, I think for 8 minutes, could you roast Drew for
Oh my God.
My God, please do.
like Johnny on the spot?
God, it's so bad.
Like, I
There's
could
so
see-
much you can do.
Man,
Failed career and odd look
I
as a
won't
human.
get into the career
Drew,
because
shut up. I wanna hear this.
here's what's funny is Kara and I
Drew's
were
love life.
eating at Mike's
Drew's
place.
love life is pretty funny. We could talk about that for a second.
I think he's doing great.
The past 3 years have been all right.
Wait a second, I'm in this.
I think he's doing great. Kara and I were eating at Mike's place the other day, and Drew comes in to clock in around like 2:30 for his shift.
Ouch.
2 o'clock for his shift, something like that.
Harsh burns.
And I'm talking to him, and Kara doesn't know Drew. I introduce. I'm like, this is Drew Mitchell. She's like, Drew.
Drop her.
She doesn't. I'm like, she recognized the name, and then I mentioned that he was on the Point 94.1, and she's like, no, that's not the same guy. And like for maybe
had a
5
billboard.
minutes,
That's
she
what
was
I
like,
said too.
She was like, no, it's not. No, what? Really? And I was like, yeah. He even shows the jacket, and she's like, oh my God. She gets giddy. She's like, oh, what? Oh, what?
And my whole thing with that was like, who would pretend to be me? For God's sake.
You're not that guy. You're not that guy. No,
Let me put my wig on real quick. I got you.
I am. It is me. I am the guy that did the morning radio show on the college, the college station.
It was a
one afternoon.
100,000 watt station.
No, I'm saying like if there was someone trying to be like that was a legit thing because that was in Clarksville, Arkansas, my guy.
I had a bunch of listeners in Clarksville. I went to Clarksville to do a few gigs, and it turns out like I was huge in Clarksville and had no idea. People were taking pictures with me in Clarksville.
It was the only radio station we got.
Yeah, it was just me.
These burns are so sick. You guys need to really calm this shit down.
I didn't roast. I didn't roast as much.
To talk about Seth and I actually knew each other for a very long time
Always
before.
about Brittany.
So I just want to take like a couple seconds. Yeah, we
sure,
met.
man.
We met.
So,
Take a couple of minutes, guys.
long
Take it
story
off.
short, I saw Seth doing comedy in like 2010, 2012,
Feels like yesterday.
2011.
It must have been
Around that time. It's been like
where
9
was it?
years ago.
Movie
It was
Lounge.
Movie Lounge. Yeah. So I went there to
That
go
would've been
see
2012.
one of my ex roommates perform, and
Who was it?
Luke.
You were his roommate.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I know. I lived with that mother. I have
Yeah,
really
nobody-
incriminating pictures of him. It's
What
hilarious.
happened before me is none of my business, as far as I'm concerned.
That's
That was
another
I was like
thing we'll do.
18,
Good.
but anyway. So yeah, I lived with dude. So of course he was doing a comedy show, and I was like,
This
I'll go
dude
check him
talks
out.
in a fake accent, by the way. Everyone should be aware
Wait.
of that.
No, Luke Francis?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I thought you were talking about
Oh, you
Luke.
don't
Good for
even
Luke, but oh my
remember.
god,
He
yes, that's
doesn't
even
even
worse.
remember.
That's an
That's
even worse
great.
Luke.
No, not Luke
Because
from
it is-
Fort Smith.
Oh, dude.
Well, Luke is from Fort
I'm so
Smith.
sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm yelling, but yes.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
This guy he talks in a Scottish accent.
Yeah.
He was so mad at me because I told people he had a
Yeah.
fake accent.
Yeah, he was mad at me too. When
So
his
he's like
mom
just
was
Sean
there.
Connery, like faking, like.
How?
Oh, right, yeah, mate. It's me. I'm Luke Francis. I come around. That's kind of going Irish. That's like
Still, but it was
Well, it's
amazing.
It's pretty awesome.
He
man.
was actually on Grey's Anatomy like 2 weeks ago.
no, the fucking no.
No, really, like on TV, on
he
Grey's
was
Anatomy,
not.
in a kilt. Yeah, like for real.
Oh no! Now I feel bad.
Fake it till you
I
make
still
it.
keep in touch with him. I hope he doesn't listen to the last part of the podcast.
Here's the thing: is like I liked that guy a lot. He asked me to feature for him for a long time. When I was first starting out for like 2 years, the first 2 years of doing stand up, he saw me perform at like an open mic at a really shitty bar that he was headlining, and he liked me, and I added him, and I started asking him questions. He's like, well, why don't you go on the road with me? I'm going to Missouri next week. Last time I was there was sold out. You're going to love it. I went up there. There was no one there.
Oh, yeah.
And then I did my shit. And then the next week we had the next time we worked together, he would tell me this was great. And the time I saw him there, he had packed it out. And then the next time he asked me to be his feature, and I would do it. Bam. No one was there. And then he went on the road and said he had been writing like crazy and writing like crazy and writing like crazy. And then when I saw him go perform in the same place again, he had the same jokes again. And I was like, what are you writing? Are you taking my jokes, dog? That's what I thought. Like, are you everywhere you're not performing with me? You got new material, apparently. Whatever. But
That
used to
happens
drive
in
his
comedy,
car.
though, doesn't
really common. It's really common.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating because if someone takes my joke, whatever, I can write new jokes, maybe. Sometimes.
that's super
sucks
shitty.
Ass. It sucks ass. But, you're going to get yours, and I'm going to continue writing jokes. But this guy, I had pulled some strings for this guy to get booked at a place, the Looney Bin again, because that's like the owner was my landlord. So he comes in.
Good shout out.
He comes in and he's like super aggressive with the other comics. It's this triple feature week where they're all competing to be another headliner. And he's like, I don't know what I'm doing this. I don't know why I'm coming out and doing this. And I'm already a goddamn headliner. I'm like, dude, I don't know why you're doing that accent because I already. He's like,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
you're right,
like
Seth,
not
sorry,
a
I
real
forgot."
accent,
He's
like
"Oh, I
ever. I mean,
Right. It's
But
not.
wouldn't it be
not.
weird for someone from Arkansas to go from like talking like, oh yeah, I'll see y'all later to, oh my God, Lucky Charms and
and
whatnot.
it's totally fine.
How are you eating?
But I mean, I know this man. Like I lived with him
Oh.
for not in a no. He
Not in
lives
a
in a
biblical
separate room.
I'd say, well, with as many arm motions that you're doing right now, Brittany, I don't know what to believe
I can't
anymore.
even tell you.
I don't either, and I'm
I lived with this
uncomfortable
person
and
for
insecure.
like a year and a half. Okay,
Shouldn't be.
didn't have anyway. So I went to Movie Lounge to see my friend who
That's why he was headlining.
he was headlining
and he
so
sucked.
there was like
God, he
you
fucking
opened-
blew it.
You were one of the openers, and I never met you then. So mind you, this is 2011 probably. I go out in the parking lot from the Movie Lounge, and I'm talking to his mom. And I'm like, yeah, I used to live with him because we're just like because we were fucking roommates.
talking to
like
Luke's
it's
mom?
not, yeah.
And what did she say?
She lives in Fort Smith. She was like, yeah, it's my son. And I was like, yeah, I used to live with him.
Was
And
she
we're
like,
talking
oh,
in
that's
that
my
group.
son. I love him so much.
And
Or
then-
was she like,
no, she
We're
was
from
like,
Belfast. Yes. Oh, yes. It's been such a pleasure. Raising young. What's his name?
Dad lived there, Luke.
Oh, yes, young Luke.
but she was there and she saw him doing a Scottish accent?
Sorry, this dude, when I first started
point
living
with Luke,
him,
yes.
he punched a guy in the face and jumped over the balcony. He's like a Golden Gloves boxer.
He's
so
like, oh, no, not my Lucky Charms.
that's a whole other.
Somebody trying to steal his gold.
So yeah. So like I had that whole conversation with his mom, right?
I thought it was funny, Nick.
Like five
Horrible
other
joke.
people.
It's horrible.
He writes me on Facebook and like bitches me out because I
saying it.
outed him. And I was like, dude, I didn't know. I was
To his mom?
protecting. Yes. I was like, your mom was there. I was like, we lived together.
Story
I didn't think it was a big deal.
Yeah, that's what happened to me is like he messaged me and yelled at me about, he actually called me. I was at work and was like, I can't believe you. I thought we were my friend. And I was like, why are you still talking like that right now?
He called you?
Yeah. And I was like, he's like, I was talking
called
to
you in
some
the accent?
comedians.
That's
I was
amazing.
talking to some comedians up in Fayetteville and they said, you told them that I am not really Scottish and you promised me you would always tell me. You promised me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man.
He's like so
But
like
also, you promised me like you would be professional if I got you this gig, and you tried to fight the other feature acts. So,
Sounds like Luke.
I feel like we both broke each other's promises. Maybe we should move on, or don't talk to me anymore, you son of a bitch, because you owe me like $300.
Boom. And thanks for showing up for the podcast this
you
weekend.
have some photos I can show you.
I did some graphic design for this dude, and he said, I'll give you 10% of all the sales I make for this album. Cool. He kept saying over and over again on the internet, I'm sold out of this album again. I kept selling out. I'm like, man, I'm gonna get so much money.
So okay, fast forward. Hold on, that's really fast. So
my God,
I'm
we're
hosting
so out of time
trivia.
and we're over at this
So,
point.
it doesn't matter. We're
It
telling the
does. We're
story.
trying to keep
no.
this up.
No, listen, let her
God damn
fast
it,
forward.
shut up. Okay,
got your back.
so we're fast forwarding. Since everyone's been talking over our D&D the whole time,
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know who would have
it's not going to even be.
She just did the
I
serpent
mean, it's
neck
just going to
thing.
be the whole time. So
How's it gonna be like?
basically, we're going to finish our story.
Oh.
Seth and I
I'll be
was
over here in
doing-
my place where I was put.
I was
Y'all
doing
need to.
trivia at Zaza's probably like a year ago. It feels like
2
a year
years
ago.
ago?
It's probably 2 years ago. Yeah, I've really lost the last year. And I was like, you handed me your card because you were you were running that shit, and I was like, Seth Dees, did you used to do comedy? Because I just said used to,
Yeah.
and I didn't know.
And at the time,
And
yes.
We had the
And
whole
currently, yes.
conversation about how
I was gonna say, how's that going for you, Seth?
I mean, I was hosting trivia, so you never know, you know. But I was just like, did you used to do comedy? And you're like, yeah. I was like, dude, I know who you are. And we had this whole conversation. But the moral of the story here is that I remembered his name from that night without ever talking to him because his act was so great.
What was your favorite joke?
I don't remember. I don't remember.
But she really
I
did.
remember
But,
being
yeah, no.
like, that
Honestly.
dude is fucking funny as shit.
Honestly, we were lovers at the time and still are. But Seth, she did come home and
That's a good one.
but she did come home as we were in the throes of being lovers. And she said,
With my card.
I think I did.
Held it sacred like a fresh new comic book.
Right?
She wanted
but she did mention you, and she's like, "Oh man, this guy Seth D's," and of course I made a D's nuts joke
Oh,
because
no,
I'm
that's so
14.
clever.
See,
and
I was
original,
like, that was
and that's
even
what's cool
before
about
the
that
D's
too.
nuts
Wow, so
joke,
this is
and
why
I
we had you on the
remembered
podcast today, so Drew could come at you.
This was the first time that was ever mentioned in this podcast,
is.
and we have gone over an hour.
It's the intro.
Yeah.
It
the
is, and
extra.
this actually could be the intro
This
because
could
like
be the prequel. This could be where I just grab the bottle because Drew's about to reach over this fucking podium. Grab the bottle because you're gonna jump over at him because you're like, oh,
it's Seth. I happen to adore
It
Seth.
was a
Seth's
joke.
one of my
it was
favorite.
all. It was just all a joke. It was like a lovable joke.
Well, that brought it to a super halt,
sober ending.
Here's what I recommend. I recommend we do this again in like maybe a month, and
Sober?
I will bring a little one-shot adventure, and I will bring
God,
pre-made characters for you.
I don't like it.
Oh my
I
God,
will
we
bring
have
pre-made
to.
characters for you.
This is not happening.
Nick, you'll be
so.
so
This is not
into it.
happening.
This is
You
never
will
going
too,
to
though.
happen.
You will too,
This
because
is
we
just
Take me to dinner first, warm me up, and then maybe.
Man, I'll take it. I'll take you guys out to dinner. And
I
then,
really think that life should just be about
Brittany,
like
can
I
you-
swear to God, I wish I could go to everyone that I worked with.
I
and
wish you
just
could
be
just
like
roll
a
dice like that for the
perception
rest of my
check.
life.
I have a halfling monk. His name is Odie Brownbottom. Odie Brownbottom, and
was
he
so
rolls.
visual.
He rolls so well. That's why we were able to get out of everything. Is because my
went back
halfling
into
monk.
Scottish for a second.
Yeah, Odie Brownbottom. That's it. He's
That's why we were able to get out.
Yeah.
We were able to get
Here's
out.
the thing: is Odie
Stop.
Brownbottom. He actually does talk with a
I
fake
have a
accent.
decent Scottish
No, you
accent.
don't. It's
Yes.
horrible.
I wish I could tell Steve at work to roll
all
an
peeking
intelligence
'cause we're
check
eating
every like time he says something.
Okay, that's
Edit
really
that out.
random, and no one will know what that
I
means.
know. I am
Steve,
depending on
probably,
you
if
to
he's
edit
listening
that
to
out.
this, he probably feels real bad.
He probably will be.
We're going to do two things.
Okay.
We're going to end the podcast, and
We're
then
gonna take our shirts off.
Let's do it.
All right,
Spring
so
break.
we're gonna do that.
Going streaking.
What's the second
To
thing,
the
Drew?
quad to the gymnasium.
I'm more disturbed that
Get
Brittany was the only
KFC.
one excited about that particular proposition. All right.
Well, that's why me and Brittany belong to be together. All right, let's really talk about this, guys. Okay. So I love RoboCop. Brittany loves RoboCop.
and Nick
we
are going
belong
nowhere,
together.
but Nick and Brittany
really do
are
love
going
RoboCop.
they have a
somewhere.
future.
I'm just kidding. Seriously though, Brittany, leave him. Come to me. Come to me.
I've thought about it.
I know, right? It's like, hey, she just wants
You're
that.
right there. You're standing right there, Drew.
Sorry,
I'm the largest thing in the living room.
It's so weird.
You're straight up adorable. I want to put you in a corner with a lamp. You're adorable.
He would love that.
I'm just kidding, Drew. Come on.
Actually, I wouldn't.
What?
He likes candles.
We should have got one of those Drew Mitchell action figures in Clarksville when they sold them.
Oh my
Man,
God.
we made $13.85 off those.
Not real. That's not real.
$13.85. They
I would have bought one.
There is like a Drew Mitchell statue in Clarksville.
Yeah.
yeah.
Funko Pop.
It's a Funko Pop. Drew Mitchell Funko Pop. Oh my god.
There's a mural.
Yeah, cold dead
It's
eyes.
the most like average looking white dude Funko Pop.
No, you gotta get
That's
his boots.
about all you would.
Seth,
What does Drew Mitchell look like? Have you ever seen a white guy?
The white guy.
from
Pretty much
Friends.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty
the
much
white
it.
guy from Friends. He looks like he stepped
Do
out
you
of Friends.
remember a white guy from the 90s?
Yeah. Oh, don't even get me started on his boots. Look at those things.
Yeah, dog.
Yeah.
Right?
What kind of hog you got?
For the listener, they are motorcycle boots, and I
real
do not
quick.
own a
Hey,
motorcycle.
Seth, he drives an automatic Charger.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a cool
Wait,
car.
why did you make it
Manual?
automatic?
Oh, because it explains the boots.
It's well,
Yeah, because you can't shift gears in those boots.
You can't. You could. Well, no.
Well, it
can't
takes
be
away
shifted.
from
Do
my
with your-
time.
Why would you
wrist.
have a Charger that's an automatic?
I'm surprised you can hit the gas pedal. Did they move at all in the ankle?
Well, here's the deal, though. I mean, there's no time to shift gears when you're being cool. I don't have the
Drew
time.
with the wisdom.
Oh, God, I'm
Everybody.
so
Seth,
wet.
Seth, did you get moved by that?
That makes it, by the way.
I don't know.
Dungeon Master.
Dungeon Master.
Dungeon
Okay,
Master.
we have to wrap.
I can't
Why do
do
we?
that.
Oh, because it's actually
Oh,
3 o'clock in the morning now.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Fuck. Daylight savings
This is
time.
important. This is important because they'll be listening to this about 2 or 3 weeks behind. We have officially, right now, just went into the future.
Oh no.
Yep. We time traveled,
Brittany,
bitches.
you got the Back to the Future theme.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Okay, no, we don't
Marty
have any more time
McFly
because
and-
we have to wrap because we have gone too
I
long.
was saying, Brittany, you didn't have that queued up. I mean, what the fuck?
Oh fuck. Hold on.
Jesus Christ, Britt.
I had the Law and Order
of love.
shit. You're exactly right. Wait, that's our out.
Is that the same one? I'm probably thinking of the wrong one.
Is that what you were thinking of?
I was
Power
actually
Glove?
thinking of Brittany being
No, I
on the
think it's
ball
like-
and have this shit queued up already.
I can't do it. I
God
know. I
damn.
hear
A
it.
professional.
Clearly not.
Back to-
I gotta
and
do
our
it.
listeners,
As Brittany is queuing it up, and we're listening to this. I'm Drew Mitchell. You can find me somewhere. Nick Amoroso.
Hey, that's
outro.
me. Hey, I want to give a big shout out to my roommate Hasha, who is sleeping soundly, hopefully, throughout all of this. But if not, I'm really apologizing. Just forthright.
Seth Dees.
hey, you can catch me in the dish pit at Mike's place on Saturday nights.
Okay. All right, cool.
How about Brittany?
When this Same.
Brittany Caldwell, outro yourself.
Back to the future, bitches.
Wow. That's so basic white girl right there.
Oh, God.
Tune in next week. We're out.
Bye.
This is Captain speaking. We want to thank you for choosing to fly Drew and Nick going nowhere. That is our destination. If you look out to the right side of the plane, you won't see talent. And if you look out to the left side of the plane, there's no talent there either. We understand you have a lot of choices entertainment. We want to thank you again for flying Drew and Nick are going nowhere, and we're sorry.
Last night, I got loaded on a bottle of wine, I said last night, yes, I got loaded on a bottle of wine, that homemade wine, but I feel alright, see, I feel alright, I'll do it again tonight, yes, I will. Night before last, I got loaded on a bottle of gin, Night before last, yes, I got loaded on a bottle of gin, old Seagram's gin, and I feel alright, yes, I feel alright, I'll do it again tonight. All right, y'all. Well, tonight, I'm gonna get loaded on a bottle of beer, I said tonight, I'm about to get loaded on a bottle of beer, a Shiner-Bock beer, and I feel alright. Said I feel alright. Yes, I feel alright. I'll do it again.
There is like a Drew Mitchell statue in Clarksville.
Yeah.
A Funko Pop.
It's a Funko Pop. Drew Mitchell Funko Pop.